Welcome back to another video. My name is Matthew, and today I'm kind of stoked about this. Damn it! Um, the GG movie. It's it's finally happening now. Okay. Let's start off with a little bit of a more proper intro. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another live stream. My name is Matthew, and on this live stream, if you're new to the channel, we can just talk about whatever I want to talk about. So essentially, just a glorified Matthew Mumbles episode. That's my podcast. If you don't know, the GG movie, a project I've had on the back burner for years and years and years, is finally coming to fruition. I am currently making it as we speak. I am currently doing all the frames and like the visuals for the film. It is going to be great, and I am going to be just hammering this down. I love what we have so far. Now, for a little bit of backstory, because I know not all the current channel viewers are up to speed with the show, I want to kind of like bring you guys a bit back in time to relatively more simpler times, because the GG movie has been part of my life as far as like production goes. It has been, I think, like as far as a singular project goes, we're not counting shows because that can be considered multiple projects because you have multiple seasons and they can be all sorts of different to each other, right? But with that said, this has been the longest I've worked on a singular project for. It has been about 8 years, almost, as of this year, that the GG film was first greenlit. And now is it finally going to be able to be made, come out, see a proper release, and it's going to be grand. It's going to be great. It's going to be just, again, like a lot of things I could describe it as, but ultimately I think when it comes out, I'm going to let the film speak for itself. And what it has to say is an adventure of heart, teamwork, finding your purpose in life. It's so full of that. It's full of family. It has just a lot of spirit behind it. I know it sounds like I'm like ringing on my own charade a little bit, but it's kind of true, because the film has been, again, just, I guess because like back when I was still writing the film, I was like, God, I want to say I was like 15 when I wrote the film. And back then I had a much more simplistic mindset. I wasn't trying to make everything as dark as humanly possible. I was going for a much more lighthearted adventure. And I feel like in hindsight, this is the way to end off the show. This is the way that these characters that you guys have been watching for years and years and years on the channel can finally have their big send-off. The big conclusion to it all. And that's ultimately why I feel like this is the perfect finale project to the film, to the series. And it's mesmerizing. You guys got to understand that. I was, again, 15 when I first greenlit the project. Actually, no, I was 13. Never mind. I was 13 when I first greenlit the project. And I was talking to a middle school friend of mine, Aspen, who actually you guys probably know on the show from time to time. And I remember I told Aspen about my idea for the film. Aspen just did not like that. I thought it was going to just take way too long. I was willing to take the challenge. And eventually that was right there and then when I gave the green light. And it kind of sat on the back burner for a few years until I kind of revisited the show. And in hindsight, revisited the film. And because of me doing so, I had spawned some new interest for the film. And it was kind of like, okay, well, how can I turn this into a movie? Because the show at the time wasn't as established as it was now, because there wasn't a whole lot of characters to pull from. But as the seasons kind of like started, because I think at the time I was like up to season 2 or season 3. So by that point, I was already kind of like knee deep into some of the project, and and then eventually I was just like, huh, what if I kind of like explore the backstory of one of the characters? And this ended up being Squarebot, and how the series never really explored the origins of him and Circlebot. And I was just like, that's the movie premise. That's like literally the perfect movie premise. We could do so much with that. And so ultimately, I got down to writing a script, and I was pretty happy with it. And I still am. I'm not trying to like say I'm mortified by the script. I feel like, again, because I wrote this in 2020, it's a lot more innocent minded compared to the much more darker things I'm putting out, like the recent T.O.S.G seasons, which deal with a lot more heavier themes. And then Spiral Shapeshow Galaxy, which I actually just wrote a script for another episode. I just sent it off the top, so waiting to hear approval on that. But this film has basically been with me for the past 8 years. Again, the longest I've ever worked on a singular project for. The film was supposed to come out in 2023, but because I made the switch from live action to animation and things just were not adding up for the live action version, I decided to give that the can and then go back to animation, which I think honestly was a better choice because so far I'm just loving how it looks. I know it looks like the TV show, or well, I guess it's not really a TV show. You watch it on the TV, it's a show. There you go, it's a TV show. But it just looks so much better with the original style because, again, live action just doesn't work for certain ideas, and I feel like the GG series just is one of them. Even though it has dabbled into live action before because you had the two pin seasons, and you also had the second League Object Show, but those are like alternate universes, canon in the sense that they carry over hand from GG to TSOS, that sort of canon, but it's not like that, you know. But that said, um the GG movie was never meant to be an alternate universe type thing, so changing up the style just didn't make sense for me even at the time. So again, like the fact is, I know I'm going on a bit of a tangent here, but the movie being animated the way it is a smart choice. And I'm just really happy with how it's going. Just also want to make sure I'm if I'm still muted, because I've had the issues where it's like technical difficulties have bitten me in the butt several times. Want to at least confirm that I'm okay. Can anyone hear me in the chat? I'm gonna test the playback here. Oh yeah, I can. Okay, I only need like a split second. But this has been nearly a decade. If I'm lucky, and honestly, I'm not betting on it, I might be able to screen this movie in a theater. But the reason why I'm not betting on it is because I know theater rentals are expensive, and people who are not familiar with me or the show beforehand won't understand a lot of the things that go in the film, even though it's like set up in a way. Hello in chat. Sorry if you're the first one there. So thank you for saying hi. Trying to think here. I know, like, again, renting out a theater, even for one movie, is really expensive. Um, Trying to think here. Even if I like submitted to a film festival, I'm not sure if they would accept it because the movie itself is very long and it's gonna take a long time to make. So I can't exactly submit it to this year's film festivals because a lot of this year's are gonna like come and go as the film is like continuing production. So it's kind of a bummer. I did have an idea of putting this like at a private screening with my family, but honestly, I kind of shot that down. And if I am going to screen this anywhere, it's going to be on YouTube. I already put out like a teaser trailer like a week or two ago. I feel like it's also worth noting that this will be the end of the canonical story that Gigi is trying to tell. There will not be a season 13. There will not be like any sort of epilogue, sequel, or continuation with these specific versions of the. Well, I guess that's not totally something I'm supposed to like keep the cap on, but as far as the GG season 13, that will not happen. This is the final season. Mainly because I do want to kind of like wrap this chapter in my life, because again, this show's been with me for so long, and I do want to kind of like pave the way for new projects to come in. For example, I want to work on Rising Rampage, but the thing is, with the GG film and Spiral season 2 both being made in the same way Rising Rampage would, having 3 animated object shows at the same time would probably mentally kill me. Like, I'm not even joking. So, like, let's look at that from a perspective. You have the GG series, which has the last episode of season 9 coming out this week, and then you have season 11, which has its final 3 episodes, and then you have the movie, which is comprised of 8 parts, which makes up 8 episodes. Then you have Spiral Shape Show season 2, which I'm projecting to be like a 6 to 8 episode season, kind of like season 1. And then on top of that, you add Rising Rampage. Even if it's just a pilot, that would overwhelm the crap out of me. Like, again, all of that's fully voice acted, has their own unique stories, and I guess Rising Rampage wouldn't be set in the same world, but it would be set in like the same sort of style of the other 2 shows, being an animatic object show. So, and keep in mind, I'm the only one working on these, like as far as the animator, the director, the writer. I'm the only one. Okay? I'm the only one. Now, granted, for Spiral, I do have a bit of like assistance when it comes to like the visual style, because Lucy, the creator of the show, has she's a lot more involved with this season than she was with the last one, because with the last season, all she really did was just review the scripts and give me like advice on what to improve, fact checking and all that stuff, and that was that. For this season, she's involved with a lot more aspects. She's involved with the casting. She's involved with the obviously we got the script approval going down. She's also really involved with the designing of the characters. She's designing all new assets for the characters, which I've already revealed spirals via thumbnails, but there's new assets so far for, I think, I'm trying to remember, Rainbow Square, Black Sun, Polygon, damn it, Circly, Popstar. I think there's another one, Triangle. There we go. So we have those ones down. There should be more coming, because I think there's a little bit more beyond those, but again, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. We're also trying to figure out like the visual style, which I kind of want to take a more BFB approach, but really it's all down to her. Only thing I just really want is that it's different from older BFDI, like BFDI, bfdia, and idfb. Like those assets I want to steer clear of, because that was a major problem I think I had with season 1. I only really did the BFDI assets for season 1 because that was just like convenience. I had everything all downloaded, and I did have some back and forth banter as to if I should do like a BFB style. I kind of shot that down, but I guess now going back to GG, since this is a GG stream, I don't want to reveal too much about this first episode. I mean, I guess I can reveal it because it's technically already out via the live action version that was released in 23. It's not much different aside from the visual style. It's going to feature new voice acting for me because I unfortunately lost the voice files from my original recording. And I don't want to recycle anything from the older episode just because I want it to like stand on its own two legs. The only thing that's going to remain the same is like the overall story structure of episode 1, and it's going to be Diamond's lines because they are from the late Rebecca K. Lunetta. So there's that worth mentioning. Ooh, that's some good cup of joe. Drinking coffee. For anyone who's like a little kid, you'll understand the significance of coffee as you get older. I didn't think it'd be significant, but trust me, you will absolutely need it when you're older. And this is coming from someone who's only a few years into adulthood. God knows how much coffee I'm going to be drinking throughout my life. I know not all adults drink coffee, some drink tea, which isn't a bad choice. It's just if you hand me a cup of coffee, at least this brew, versus a cup of tea, I'm actually going to pick the coffee. Now, here comes the fun part, which is switching camera angles, which means I have to manually change everything, making sure that the characters in question in view don't look weird because the GG characters can only look in so much different directions. I'm actually going to do this. It's kind of funny because like I don't use storyboards for the GG series anymore. I used to, but the reason why I stopped was because I already had like everything down in my head as I was writing the script. So I was just like, what's the point in me doing the storyboarding when I can just go straight to the visuals and not have to worry about it since I'm already the one like configuring everything out. But as far as like animation goes, I wouldn't recommend that just because like I know some people in the object show community want to become like the next big object show director. And here's my personal advice. Don't do what I just said I would do. Make storyboards. Get a team together. Get yourself Flash. Or I guess Adobe Animate, my apologies. Just make it at least start off small and then work your way up. That's my personal advice. But that said, make sure your vision stays. Because I've learned over the years that people will not agree or see eye to eye with your vision. I actually had one guy who I used to work with. I don't know if they're still around, but they actually tried to change the cast of my characters all because I had too many, quote, non-objects on the show, despite it being an object show. It's like GG is hybrided between a joke show and a serious show. Joke shows commonly have like non-object show characters, right? And plus BFDI is chock full of them. You have David, you have Dory, you have Robot Flower, you have Roboti. Come on. I'm pretty sure an object show doesn't automatically need to have all objects. Like, I mean, Object Invasion has Ethan. I'm just saying. But I digress. That was like years ago. if you're wondering what scene I'm at in the film, I'm right now at the scene where he drops the alarm clock off the building, which I think is just absolutely hilarious to just see him throw a hissy fit that much to where he just drops a whole like alarm clock off his damn building. Although you find it weird how a Brandon the bowling ball, a multi-millionaire, is now living in an apartment of all places. It's not even a luxury one. It's just your standard run-of-the-mill one you can find for rent online. The question is, what did he invest it in? Dun dun dun. Actually, wait, I should probably change that. I'm actually going to change that too. See, that's the fun part about being a creator, is that you get to decide what goes and what doesn't. Not getting too much activity here. Come on, guys. Say something. Nothing. The world has betrayed me. But in all honesty, I mean, I know my viewership has like significantly slowed down ever since I stopped doing Mugen videos, which, like, again, I understand that was like one of the big risks of doing the whole break thing, which, again, I want to just make everyone aware it's still coming back, but it's not going to be for another while. I don't know when, but it's just when I'm feeling ready. Hell, I might not even host them on this channel anymore. It might be on a different one. I might bring back Triple M. Do you guys want that? More Mugen on a different channel? That way you can go and enjoy your videos while I'm over here making mine. I feel like that'd honestly be the best balance, though. Ooh, wait, that means I get to do this. One of my favorite like visual gags in the show is that whenever Brandon the bowling ball does his like plasma beam thing, he like shoots a beam out of his mouth. He turns his whole body into like the shape of Pac-Man, and it's so funny. And it's so off-putting to see. Like it like newer viewers just go like, what the hell? Which, like, understandable reaction. After this stream's over, which is probably going to be in like 5 minutes, because I'm not aiming this to be a super long stream, I'm probably going to work on T.O.S.G again. Because much like GG, that's also a project I want to wrap up. Oh, guys, look, we have a special guest. Yeah, my kitty. Come here, kitty. Come here, kitty. Yeah. You have anything to say to the camera? Well, I guess to the mic. You guys can't see, but I'm holding my cat up to the microphone. It's the nonverbal one. She only really talks if, like, you trigger her, which I'm not going to do. Because she's old and she deserves to be loved and cared for. Love your cats. Like, I know there's some people out there who don't like cats, but come on, guys. At least reconsider. Cats are adorable. Yes, they're mischievous. Yes, they're chaotic. But they provide a whole other level of companionship that I don't even think you get from dogs. And this is coming from someone who lived like as a kid with both cats and dogs. Okay? I've grown up with a ton of breeds over the years, mainly pugs, but still, my point still stands. I love I love dogs and cats for different reasons, but there's things about each species that I like more than the other. Dogs are more playful in terms of like energetic, like playfulness. You're out, like, say, in your backyard and you're playing like a game of fetch or like with your frisbee or something. That's the type of play that a dog can enjoy with you. The type of play that you would want with a cat is a much more, I guess, laid back, chill type one where you can literally just take a laser pointer and point it towards the ground or the wall and then just go swing your arm. That's it. You're literally just pressing a button and swinging your arm from back and forth, letting your cat go wild. That's a much more relaxed, casual play. There's different types of play. And I'm just saying, if it's your mood, then I think it also just comes down to lifestyle. But at that point, I'm really just speaking on behalf of myself, not everyone else. So if you like dogs more than cats, that's your choice. And if you also like cats more than dogs, that's also your choice. I love them both for different reasons. It's hard for me to pick which one's a favorite. That said, I kind of miss my dogs. I really miss my dogs. Alright, I think we're gonna end the stream in just like 1 minute. Again, didn't want this to be like an overly long stream. But I guess I can shoehorn one more fact about the GG film. This episode will be, I'm aiming it for it to be about 5 minutes long or so. Right as of now, the film is going to be, I'm aiming to be about maybe an hour 20, hour 40. That's what I'm hoping the final cut will be. I cannot promise it will be, because I have about 40 to 45 pages of script, so that means 45 pages of animation, 45 pages of audio work, 45 pages of voice acting, 45 pages of video editing, 45 pages of sound design, video. It's just basically all the works. So I'm in for the long haul, which is why I broke it up in episodes, just to make it a little bit easier on the workload. Because if I was still working on it on a mass movie, then it wouldn't work well. Anyways, thank you for watching. It's all from me. Subscribe if you're new. Peace out, and I'll see you guys next time. Stay tuned for the film, ladies and gentlemen.